Right now, somewhere in your backyard, your driveway cracks, your garden border, or your lawn, there are plants growing that you have spent years trying to kill. You have pulled them, sprayed them, and smothered them with mulch, and yet, every single spring, they come back with a vengeance. What if I told you those very plants are actually more nutritious than anything currently growing in your meticulously tended raised beds? What if the thing you have been destroying is worth far more than the thing you have been so carefully watering and protecting? The average household spends over $500 a year on lawn care, and a significant portion of that money goes toward killing exactly these plants. The herbicide industry convinced an entire generation that a barren, perfect carpet of green grass was the ultimate goal, but that expensive habit is literally poisoning a free, incredibly resilient food system that requires zero effort to grow. If you are ready to stop fighting nature and start using it to your advantage, whether you are trying to feed a family on a budget, maximize a small balcony garden, or cut input costs on a multi-acre farm, please consider subscribing to the channel so we can keep sharing these practical, time-tested secrets with you. I would also love for you to drop your location in the comments below, whether that is your specific city, a quiet village, a rural district, or your country. We have a wonderful community of traditional gardeners, resourceful households, and innovative farmers tuning in from all corners of the globe, and knowing where you are holding your trowel helps us understand just how far our roots are spreading. It is beautiful to see how a shared love for the earth can connect someone growing herbs in a high-rise kitchen with someone managing a massive orchard halfway across the world. Let us start with the bright yellow icon that is probably growing closest to you right now, the humble dandelion. You know exactly what it looks like with its deeply toothed leaves, sunny yellow faces, and those white puffball seed heads that children love to blow into the wind. Before the age of chemical lawn care, dandelion was considered a highly valuable crop, and European settlers deliberately brought it across the ocean because it was a vital source of early spring nutrition. This plant that people now spray with toxic chemicals is a nutritional powerhouse that easily outperforms cultivated kale. A simple handful of raw dandelion greens provides over 500% of your daily recommended vitamin K, more beta-carotene than a whole carrot, and more calcium per calorie than a glass of milk. Every single part of the plant is entirely edible, from the blossoms down to the deep taproot, which can be dried, roasted, and ground into a rich, caffeine-free coffee substitute that health food stores sell for premium prices. Cultivated spinach requires perfectly loose soil, constant watering, protection from summer bolting, and tedious replanting every single season, whereas the dandelion requires absolutely nothing. It has a powerful taproot that drills 18 inches deep into the earth, breaking through the most compacted, heavy clay soils, surviving hard frosts, and producing abundant leaves from April through October. While dandelions provide a massive boost of vitamins, the next weed on our list solves the critical nutritional gap that most home vegetable gardens can never fill, and that is purslane. You can find purslane hugging the ground in dry garden beds, gravel pathways, or waste areas, recognizable by its thick, reddish, succulent-like stems and small, fleshy, rounded leaves. Purslane is truly extraordinary because it is the only land plant that provides you with high amounts of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, containing up to 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 grams serving. People routinely spend significant money every month on fish oil supplements to get those exact nutrients, but purslane delivers them to your kitchen table entirely for free. Because it utilizes a unique type of heat-tolerant photosynthesis, purslane thrives in the exact conditions that kill conventional summer vegetables. When your tomatoes are wilting and your lettuce is scorching in the intense heat of August, purslane is hitting its peak growth, completely unbothered by drought, poor soil, or total neglect. If purslane is the ultimate free supplement, the next weed is a substantial protein source hiding in plain sight, known as lamb's quarters. This plant features beautiful blue-green, diamond-shaped leaves with a distinctive, dusty white powdery coating underneath that repels water, and it is frequently mistaken for a wild spinach. Indigenous cultures across the continent cultivated lamb's quarters intentionally for generations, harvesting both the tender leaves and the tiny black seeds, which are a close relative of modern quinoa. The leaves contain more protein per gram than cultivated spinach, while also delivering heavy doses of iron, calcium, and vitamins A and C. You can harvest a basket of these greens, wash them, and cook them exactly like spinach, watching them wilt down into a rich, buttery side dish. While a home gardener might spend hours prepping a bed, managing destructive slugs, and buying expensive seeds to get a decent harvest of spinach, the lamb's quarters growing 3 feet away in the fence line is offering a superior harvest for zero cost. But here is where the story gets really interesting, because the next weed on our list does not just feed you, it acts as a phenomenal living fertilizer that fixes the soil for everything else around it. White and red clover, with their familiar 3-lobed leaves and sweet-scented flower heads, can be found in almost any lawn that has not been treated with chemicals. Most people mow this plant into nothingness, yet clover is a natural nitrogen factory. As a perennial legume, clover forms a symbiotic relationship with beneficial bacteria in the soil, pulling nitrogen directly out of the atmosphere and depositing it into the earth around its root zone. Before synthetic, chemical fertilizers were invented, farmers planted vast fields of clover specifically to restore fertility to worn-out, depleted soils. Today, dried red clover blossoms are highly sought after by herbal retailers for traditional wellness teas. Yet, you can harvest them from your own grass for free. The final plant we must look at is chickweed, a delicate, low-growing weed with tiny oval leaves and beautiful star-shaped white flowers that forms lush green mats over damp shaded soil. Chickweed is the ultimate early spring survival crop because it begins growing in February or March, weeks before the last frost date and long before any cultivated vegetable can survive outdoors. In any true self-sufficiency or food security scenario, the late winter is the most dangerous period because winter food stores are depleted and the spring garden has not yet produced a single bite. Chickweed fills that exact gap by thriving in the freezing cold, offering a mild, crisp, grassy flavor that tastes genuinely delicious as a fresh salad green. It delivers an abundance of vitamin C, magnesium, and iron at a time when your garden beds are still completely frozen. A single chickweed plant can produce up to 800 seeds, which can remain viable in the soil for a decade, ensuring that once it arrives, you have a permanent, highly resilient source of fresh winter greens for life. When you step back and look at these plants, you realize that none of them require a seed catalog, irrigation systems, or extensive agricultural knowledge. They deliver protein, healthy fats, critical vitamins, and soil fertility entirely on their own terms. The modern food system we pour so much money into protecting is fragile, while these so-called weeds are the most resilient plants on Earth, having survived droughts, ice ages, and human interference. The question is never whether these incredible plants can sustain us, but rather whether we will finally stop spraying them and start allowing them to do what they do best. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today and for being such an integral part of this growing community. Please remember to subscribe if you want to keep learning how to work with nature instead of against it, and do not forget to share your location in the comments below. Whether you are watching this from a busy city balcony with a few small pots, a cozy backyard kitchen garden, or the edge of a massive farming field, your presence here matters immensely. Next time, we are going to look at the specific cultivated crops that perfectly complement these wild weeds.